Good morning. You're in the loop. Every week we talk with the people who make San Antonio a better place to live. Thanks for joining us in the loop. Here's your host, Milton Glick.
And welcome to In the Loop. I'm Milton Glick, and that's exactly what we do. We get you caught up with the people and the organizations that are making San Antonio a better place to live. The Tobin Center is one of those places, and we've got a great guest with some great stories, not only about the past 10 years, but what the next 10 years will bring. Our guest today is Mike Fresher. He is the CEO of the Tobin Center. And Mike, how are you? Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Milton. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, happy to have you because it really is. You said before we started the interview, we got lots of great stories to tell, and it's a wonderful success story with the Tobin. Just out of curiosity, I should know this, but how long have you been with the Tobin?
So, Milton, I came to San Antonio in 2013 to build the Tobin Center. So I was responsible for getting the construction done and then actually building the entire operation because when I got here we had 3 employees and we needed to build it from the ground up. So I've been here since 2013.
Goodness gracious. So, yeah, you really can tell us about the past 10 years. I mean, literally from the start to now. That's exciting. Hey, so can
I like to say it was before the beginning.
Yeah, it really was before the beginning. So what was it like way back when you were doing it? Because you got the municipal auditorium, right? And you're gonna change it to the Tobin Center, and you've got big dreams. What was kind of going on during that time when you're just starting?
Well, a lot of the design had already been done by the time I came on board. Folks like Judge Nelson Wolff and Mayor Phil Hardberger and businessman Bruce Bugg were the folks that were leading the charge and brought me here to kind of get the thing moving. When I got here, we were in the process of taking down a good portion of the municipal auditorium in order to create the footprint to put up what was to become the Tobin Center. So it was we were mid-demolition, I think, by the time I got here in April of 2013. And we were on a real strict deadline to get us to opening day in September of 2014. So it was a kind of a mad dash for the better part of 18 months.
And the philosophy of the Tobin, and I may not be exactly right, but the philosophy of the Tobin was a little different than maybe some other organizations or other venues. Is that accurate?
Well, our philosophy was that we wanted to be something for everyone.
Okay.
So, when you see our building and you drive up to it and you enter through our doors, it looks like a temple to the high arts. But we knew who San Antonio was, and that we wanted to make sure that everyone felt welcome here. Whether you're coming to the opera, the ballet, Carlos Santana, Snoop Dogg, we wanted everyone to feel like this was a place that they could come to. So something for everyone has always been our mantra. As
well as when did the collaboration with the other arts organizations started? Was that from the very beginning?
When I got on the ground, and one of the first things I did is I met with folks from the ballet, the opera, the San Antonio Symphony at the time, and we had, inaugurally, we had 10 resident companies, which created quite a scheduling issue because they were using the building 285 days a year in the first few years. And so those 10, we now had 5 because some decided that maybe we weren't the right place for them. They're probably better off at a smaller venue. And so we currently stand at 5 resident companies. We have Ballet San Antonio, Opera San Antonio, the Youth Orchestras of San Antonio. We have the Children's Chorus, and then we have Classic Music Institute, which is our new symphony, and they have rebranded as the Orchestra San Antonio.
And I get the feeling, too, in talking to some of those organizations that maybe we've interviewed on In the Loop, that the collaboration, the partnership with the Tobin has made a big, big difference in their success. It's helped them achieve some of the success they've had. Do you get that feeling?
Well, I think they've had some really great leadership on their own.
Okay.
And their boards, they're separate organizations, so their boards have done a wonderful job in cultivating, audiences and donors. Certainly, I think that the concept of performing in the Tobin has given them some notoriety, if I may say so myself.
Mm-hmm.
And we do. One of the things we do, Milton, is we provide our resident companies with free office space in our administration building. And the reason we do that is so they see each other every day. And they're not out on their own little islands, but instead they are in the same space, they're in the same elevators, they're in the same lunchrooms. And so that has really brought another level of collaboration between the resident companies that we didn't see in the early years.
Our guest today on In the Loop is Mike Fresher. He is CEO at the Tobin Center, and we're talking about the 10th anniversary year. We're kind of reminiscing a little bit about kind of the first 10 years, and then we'll go into the next. Mike, if folks want more information on the Tobin Center, maybe what's coming up, and there's so many different things. We'll talk about those as well. Give them the website. Where do they go?
Sure, tobincenter.org. We're real easy to find, and on the website you can see what performances that we have coming up, what our resident companies are up to, our education program. There's a lot there to explore.
All righty. So let's talk a little bit more about those first 10 years. What are some things that you're really proud of, programs that maybe came, or programs kind of that weren't quite, I don't know, I'm presuming stuff, but maybe weren't quite on the radar to begin with, like some of the things like yoga and other things for fitness and health. Were those always part of it, or did those kind of grow into it?
They kind of grew into it. The way we opened the building was very unusual. We did not, on September 4th of 2014, we did not do an opening night. Instead, we did 30 opening nights in a row. And the reason we did that is because there was so much community support that made the Tobin a reality. We didn't want just one select group to be able to claim they were there for opening night. And so for 30 days, from September 4th to October 4th of 2014, we had a different performance every single night. And so we started with the opera, ballet, and symphony on stage for the very first time together. And then following that, Milton, we brought out Carlos Santana, Renee Fleming, Jason Mraz, comedians, lecturers, and then we finished that entire 30-day run with Paul McCartney, which was one of the greatest things I never want to do again, because there was a lot of stress to get that done. But that put us on the map almost instantly. That run of shows, prior to that run, we were calling agents, we were calling promoters, trying to get them to come to San Antonio. Once we put McCartney on that stage and that hit the national entertainment scene, we started getting calls. It flipped the script a little bit, and we started getting calls, people wanting to perform here. And so we certainly we've had that success now for the last 10 years. We average 2 uses of the building every single day. So just under 750 events in the building every year, which ranks us as one of the top performing arts centers in the world,
wow,
according to Pollstar magazine. Also, number 3 in the U.S. and number 1 in Texas for the number of shows that we do and the number of people that we bring through our building to a 2,000-seat hall. So we were very focused in the early years on programming, bringing shows in, getting the community to know who we were. What developed after that was what you were referring to earlier was more of our community outreach and education programs. So our education programs now operate in about 22 school districts in 3 counties here in central Texas. It's called Generation Next, and we run the gamut of providing teachers to schools to teach the arts, to teach how to use the arts to teach core curriculum. And additionally, we do the typical matinee, school day matinees for students to come see the ballet and to see a lot of our touring shows. We put those on during the day free of charge to the schools, and they bring kids in for their class trips. And so those are the things, our initial push was about programming, selling tickets, and getting everybody here. We've since now expanded, obviously, our education program, our community engagement. We do about 100 free events a year here at the Tobin Center for the Performing Arts. So that is our fitness program out on the plaza. We have free movie nights. Mm-hmm. We have open houses. We have a number of things, again, all on our website for folks to go see, because we wanted to reach out to folks that maybe can't afford that ticket price all the time, and we wanted to make sure that they understood they're also welcome here.
Yeah, and let's jump into that. Let me tell people our guest today is Mike Fresher, CEO of the Tobin Center, the website, tobincenter.org. And I'm looking at my notes. Are some of the programs that you're talking about, like the Arts for All or Tobin First Ticks and other things?
So we have that's our kind of our affinity program where we've reached out to active and retired military under our Tobin's Heroes program. Mm-hmm. We reach out to teachers under our Tobin's Teachers program, and there's a number of those initiatives that we have that get either free or very discounted tickets to those folks. All they need to do is go to our website and sign up, and as we have availability for certain shows, we send emails out to those folks saying, here's the offer. The first 50 people can get a free ticket to whatever event we're talking about. But that's another opportunity for us to bring folks in from the community and to be able to enjoy the things that we do.
Yeah, and the cool thing, and I have told other people about this, and they're all kind of like, what? That is so cool. Offering tickets to a variety of performances for folks that are SNAP beneficiaries.
That's right. And that's one of our newer ones. And often we'll also provide $10 tickets for some shows that we just can't afford. We can't manage to get comp tickets or free tickets. We'll also do $10 tickets for some particular shows. Again, Milton, it's about bringing everybody to the Tobin, no matter what side of the city you live on, no matter what your zip code is. We want you to come, and we're looking for different ways to engage those audiences.
No, that's cool. And I know that one of the philosophies is really you don't want there to be obstacles for people to enjoy the arts, one of those being prices and ticket prices. And so, the programs that you have really seem to help eliminate those obstacles, those speed bumps, if you will.
That's correct. We're all about equitable access to the arts.
All right. So what else went on in year 10? Big year, big anniversary, and then we'll talk a little bit about what's to come.
A big anniversary, 10th anniversary was a major thing that we wanted to celebrate here at the Tobin Center. So we, instead of celebrating just on our birthday, which would have been September 4th, 2024, we decided we were going to celebrate all year long. So all year, every month during the year, we had some other event, something new, something different to welcome people in to help us celebrate. So, some of the highlights going back to April, when we all remember the total eclipse that we had that April, I forget, it was a Wednesday, I think. What we did is we hosted a party on the top of our parking garage, and we called it Total Eclipse of the Arts. And so we brought in a band, we brought in food trucks, and we welcomed people to a free party on the top of our garage. So when the eclipse came, unfortunately it was pretty cloudy that day, if you remember.
I do.
But when the eclipse came, people could enjoy it as a group, and we probably had close to 500 people on the top of our garage enjoying that. And then we moved through the year, we've done a number of opportunities to inform the public of what we're doing. We met with the Texas Tribune, and they did their luncheon here, and it was focused 100% on the Tobin Center's 10 years. In September, we did a massive block party here in our community. So we closed down all of the streets around us and invited almost, I think it was maybe 3,000 folks came out to enjoy free music, sample some of our food. It was a day-long event, and then we finished that with a big fireworks display right here in downtown San Antonio to celebrate our 10th anniversary. Again, all of these are a free type of events. And then annually we do a benefit concert for, as our major fundraiser for the year. And historically, the talent that we brought in has included Lionel Richie, Dolly Parton, the Blues Brothers, actually Dan Aykroyd and Jim Belushi, Steven Tyler from Aerosmith, Paul McCartney, which I said earlier. Mm-hmm. This year we brought in Jay Leno. And so Jay Leno was our featured talent for the night. It was a rousing success. It was the community really embraced it. It was one of our best fundraisers that we've ever done. Again, Milton, a lot of people don't know that we're a nonprofit.
Right. Okay,
we're
good.
We're a 501c3. And so while we don't always look like one, because there's a lot of theaters around town selling tickets to shows, we are the only nonprofit theater of this size in San Antonio.
Oh, wow.
We closed out our year with a partnership with Visit San Antonio, where we were one of the supporting sponsors of the Ford Holiday River Parade, which you might have seen on
Mm-hmm.
TV, or you might have actually have come downtown to see it. And so we had the opportunity to have each of our resident companies have their own boat in the parade. So they got some exposure to 250,000 people along the river walk that were watching, and so all of our resident companies got to participate and let people know what they're doing. So it's really been a great run this year. We've purposely didn't want to focus on any one time of year. We wanted to do something all year, just to keep telling people our story, and that 10 years have gone very quickly, and I think the next 10 years will go just as fast.
Yeah, and I'm looking at my notes, too, and tell me if this is right. So there's well, I'll just ask you, the economic impact of the anniversary year for San Antonio, do you have numbers on that?
Yeah, so thank you for bringing that up. We did a study with the Americans for the Arts to kind of figure out what has the Tobin done. What has it done? We know that we are kind of the anchor of the arts, performing arts organizations in town. But more than that, and when we talk to the city and the county and businessmen and businesswomen around town, we want to let them know that we're actually an economic driver. And so since we opened in 2014, we've had economic impact of about $207 million over those 10 years. We support about 650 full-time jobs a year, and those folks take home about $160 million in take-home income every year. Those are some real numbers, Milton, that shows that the arts isn't just a nice thing to have.
Yeah.
It's also a major economic impact. And when you think about the county, through some bond offerings back in the early days to help us build the building, had raised $108 million through a bond offering. The city gave us the old municipal auditorium and the old firehouse command center at a value of about $40 million. So that's $148 million that the city and the county put into this. In 10 years, we've already paid that back in economic impact, plus some.
Wow.
So, when we think about what the next 10 years is, it's gravy. The next 10 years is gravy. And we do not get ongoing financial support from the city or the county. We're not in their grant systems. We're not in their budgets. We do this on our own. And so the investment that they made some 10, 11, 12 years ago has already been paid back.
No, that's great. Our guest today, Mike Fresher, CEO of the Tobin Center. We're talking a lot about the Tobin Center. This is the 10th anniversary year. I guess it's coming to a close. accurate, or does it close on your birthday? When does it?
No, I think we're gonna call it we'll call the year over on December 31st, and through the next we're speaking today on the 20th. It will be we have so many events, Milton, between now and December 31st. I can't even keep them all straight. It's every night we have a different event. We had a very wonderful memorial yesterday for Rosemary Kowalski.
Yeah.
We had her funeral here, and that's the type of things that we want to be able to do for the community. We want to open our doors and make people feel like we're part of, the thread that runs through San Antonio. And so whenever we can do those type of events and galas and graduations and weddings, we love doing that because there's a sense of ownership from the community about the Tobin.
And you can find out about all the things that are coming up between now and the end of the year or throughout 2025 at tobincenter.org. I want to make sure we cover everything before. Are there other stories from this year that you want to share before we kind of go into what's coming up that you're excited about?
Well, we've just had a really great year. We've partnered with Legoland over at I think it's at River City Mall, where they commissioned a building of a model of the Tobin Center that you can go over and see that. So that's a great partnership that we created this year. We're just very fortunate the community has embraced us over the last 10 years, and I think we've done exactly what our founders, Phil Hardberger and Nelson Wolf and Bruce Bug, were hoping that we would do, is that we would become a community asset and a focus for the arts.
All right. And let's talk a little bit, too, about, because you mentioned support. I always like to ask what our listeners can do to help be a part of the Tobin's success. What are some suggestions? I mean, obviously, can they become members of the Tobin? Can they volunteer? What are some opportunities for them?
All of the above, Milton.
Okay, good.
I would welcome them to go to our website again, tobincenter.org. There's opportunities there to become members even at $150 a year. You get some pretty good perks and pretty good benefits in terms of access to tickets before anybody else can get access to tickets. We do member parties once a quarter. In fact, we just did one last night with Doc Watkins from Jazz, Texas. He came over and he entertained our folks. Also, our education programs are starting to grow considerably. We've got one of the fastest-growing education programs in the country. It's called Generation Next, and folks can donate directly to that as well. So you go on our website, and there's lots of opportunities to donate. There's also opportunities to volunteer. Mm-hmm. And so we have everybody that you see when you come to a Tobin who takes your ticket and shows you your seat, they're all volunteers. We have about 600 volunteers that do that on an ongoing basis. And I think it's very fulfilling for a lot of these folks. They have an opportunity to see a lot of shows, and they have an opportunity to interact with a lot of great people here at the Tobin. So people that want to volunteer or donate, go to our website. There's plenty of opportunities there, particularly with the end of the year coming up, December 31st. A lot of people need to do some tax planning, so we're more than happy to help with that. Very,
very smart. Our guest, Mike Fresher, CEO of the Tobin Center. Let's see, Mike, we have got probably about 3 minutes left. Do you want to talk a little bit about maybe what you're excited about 2025? Are there any secrets you can tell us of who's coming?
Well, one of the things I'd like to tell you about real quick, a lot of people don't know, is that back in 2019 we started another company called Tobin Entertainment, which sits under our nonprofit. And we currently operate, Milton, in 36 states and 88 cities. So we book shows and we sell shows and market shows across the entire country. And so on any given night we could have 8 shows going on in places like Tulsa or New York City or Miami. And so a lot of people don't realize that we have that entire business that operates, and all of the money that we're able to pull out of that entity comes right back here to the Tobin to help us support our resident companies. So we're able to, provide them considerable discounts and help in their expenses just by doing that kind of business somewhere else. So again, something, I think our education program and our Tobin Entertainment nationwide initiative are two things that people don't know enough about. And those are things that I think I'm excited about that we look to grow over the next few years.
So how much fun are you having, Mike?
I'm having a ball.
I bet you are. I bet you are.
I came here with the intent. I had a 10-year contract, Milton, and the board just last year said, "No, you're going to need to stick around for a while." So I'm going to be here a while.
Yeah, and I'm guessing because of that many of the things, are they innovative? Are they borrowed, or do people borrow from the Tobin outside of San Antonio?
The only thing I can tell you is that we borrowed the model for our education program from the Kennedy Center in D.C., and they have since asked us to come back up there and teach some seminars on what we're doing because we're doing it at such a high level that they need to learn from us. So there's a lot of things that we steal and improve. There's other things that we just innovate. Nobody does this Tobin Entertainment, nationwide booking thing. No one does that at the level we're at. That also owns a performing arts center. So there's things that we do. Our team is very creative, very innovative, and I think that's why we've been so successful over the first 10 years.
All right, we will look forward to. We'll talk to you in fewer than 10 years again, Mike. So I appreciate it.
Love to do it.
Yeah, there's always fun stuff going on, and I'll keep in touch with you guys. Thanks for coming on the show. Our guest, Mike Fresher, CEO of the Tobin Center. I'm Milton Glick. For more information, tobincenter.org. But we're going to say goodbye for today, and you join me next week as we keep you in the loop.
Thanks for joining us in the loop. We look forward to bringing you next week's show with Milton Glick.